Joining me now from Atlanta, former congressman and Clinton impeachment manager, former CIA analyst, and former U.S. attorney, Bob Barr. Bob, I have made the argument this is not a whistleblower. I believe, as reading the report the way I do, that this person or persons are actually felons. I believe that they broke federal law, possibly broke the Federal Records Act, possibly the Espionage Act. I believe that they're felons. You have called them saboteurs. Him or them. We still don't know how many people were involved in this. Saboteurs. And your point is they're trying to sabotage a sitting president of the United States. They're not actual whistleblowers, are they?
They are not whistleblowers in any reasonable sense of the word, or in any sense that the federal whistleblower protection laws have been passed over the years, including about 20 years ago, the one that applies to the intelligence community. You know, as bad as it is with these saboteurs doing what they're doing collectively, it still surprises me, maybe it shouldn't, but it still surprises me that the Inspector General for the intelligence community, who received the initial complaint from this person or these persons, sent it up the line without ever having even read or listened to the underlying phone call. He simply appears to have taken their word that this is an urgent matter involving foreign intelligence and classified material, which of course it didn't. It didn't involve foreign intelligence matters. And he said, well, I agree. This is an urgent matter that requires being sent up the line. And then the director of national intelligence, the acting director, from whom we heard last week, says these people are purely motivated, they're patriotic and so forth. I don't know whether these officials are just scared to really do anything or whether they actually believe the nonsense that they are spouting. But it makes the whole problem even worse, Heath.
We have to remember the Inspector General, these are bureaucrats, and they're doing, quote, their job, but they also might have political leanings that influence their jobs. We simply don't know that. But let's put it this way. If presidents of the United States are not able to talk, number one, privately to other leaders of other countries, that's a problem. But if they're not able to ask for help, ask for favors in an investigation, not necessarily a quid pro quo, but just a neighbor helping a neighbor, then I think we'd have a lot of presidents in trouble over the decades. Donald Trump simply asked a fellow president to look into something, and that president could easily ask Donald Trump to look into something on his behalf as well. It's not a quid pro quo. It's not trying to taint the 2020 election cycle. It's called helping each other. It's called a treaty, by the way, also.
It's called doing your job. The President of the United States, if there is, in fact, as there has been, we know for a fact over the last couple of years, we know that there was foreign meddling in our 2016 election. Probably not the first time, but we know that it went on. We know that it had to do with both Russia, the Ukraine, and other countries. And if President Trump, that is, had not gone to the president of Ukraine and said, we need you to help get to the bottom of this corruption that involved your country meddling in our country's election, then the President Trump, that is, would not be doing his job. Well, what is the thanks that he gets for doing his job? And that is looking into this and asking for assistance in this regard, including having our Attorney General look into it. The thanks he gets from the Democrats is not well, thank you, Mr. President, for looking into this and trying to get to the bottom of foreign interference in our election. No, they say he broke the law and ought to be impeached. It's absolutely outrageous.
And Nancy Pelosi coming out and being in favor of a, quote, impeachment inquiry, I firmly believe that she was throwing the radicals who are really wagging the dog in her party right now, throwing these radicals a bone because they want to string up this president, politically speaking. They want to impeach him. And so she had to move the ball down the field slightly for these radicals. But do you believe that she's ever going to allow a full constitutional prescribed vote on impeachment? Let's face it. In 1998, you were managing a constitutionally prescribed process. And what the framers of the Constitution wanted, I don't have to tell you this, but apparently we have to remind the Democrats this, They wanted the entire House involved in the process and then kick it to the Judiciary Committee. We have a process right now that's backwards, and it's backwards on purpose because Nancy Pelosi is frozen. She's afraid that she's going to lose her majority in the 2020 election.
It's not just, I agree, Heath. It's not just, though, that she's afraid. The main problem for her is she does not have, excuse me, control of the caucus. She does not have control of the Democrat majority in the House. And if you are going to move forward with as serious a process as an impeachment, it's going to turn out very badly if you don't have control of your majority. And she doesn't.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.